How did you get on with that, describing that snowy scene? What vocabulary did you come up with? Or did you struggle with it? Now, vocabulary is something that is super important for GCSE English, but is often overlooked by students, or many students misunderstand it. They misconstrue what that means. Now, regardless of whether you're doing AQA, Edexcel, Educast, WJC, IGCSE, Cambridge, IGCSE, Edexcel, whatever exam board you're doing, CCEA, National, Scottish Nationals, whatever it is that you're doing, Nat 5, and whatever it is you're doing, vocabulary is important. And you can go and look at the mark schemes. Examiners look at vocabulary. Now, as I said, students often misconstrue this and think, oh, I need to use some big, long, fancy words, and try to learn words that are big and complicated. Now, while that is good in a sense, it's not quite correct. It's really important that you use vocabulary the same way as any techniques. You need to use the vocabulary appropriately and relevantly, okay? It's like George Orwell said, don't use a long word where a small word will do. So it's not about just using one for the sake of it. It's about using it in context and using it, as I said, with relevance. So, for example, one way you can do this is by thinking about what effect you want to have on your reader. And another grade 9 top tip is to think about the semantic field you want to create. Semantic fields are when you have words that relate to a specific topic or field. So with that snowy scene, if you wanted to create something that was a magical scene, you might actually use the word magical. You might use the word awe-inspiring. You might use the words like twinkling. You might use other vocabulary. Of course, if you can remember high-end words, you want to use them. Or if you wanted to create a haunting scene, you might use the words skeletal, or you might use the words like horror in your writing there. Or you might want to use like surrendering or suffocating, okay? If you wanted to create a semantic field of war, you might use surrender, retreat, defeat, victory. So you might describe snow as being victorious, and you might think of the ground underneath it surrendering, or that car being, surrendering, okay? So it's really important that you think about how you use these words. It's not just about using big fancy words. Of course, if you can and it's relevant, do so. But it's more about how you use them creatively and how you use them for impact. Do you struggle then with learning vocabulary? Because if you do, then this is another grade 9 top tip. I would recommend that you try and learn words according to the category. So have a category like weather and then snow, and learn some words for that, so that way then you're able to be precise. Because the reason why you need to use vocabulary, by the way, is not because examiners are thinking, oh, I just want to see some fancy words. It's because it actually helps you to express your ideas clearly and convincingly. The more words you know, the better able you are to communicate your ideas. So let me know, what's your biggest takeaway from this video? Let me know what areas of vocabulary you struggle with. And if you've got any questions, please reach out.